Hey, happy
Hey.
Wednesday, Word Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're joining us today for this fun thought. And
Yeah.
Brandy's the one who's started this thought.
Yeah, because it was just speaking to me. I'm in that place of wanting to control some things. That kind of comes naturally of this like need to control and tell God how to do things, which is not great. And so I came upon this story, and it just really, I think, spoke to me. Just about how God's in control.
Yeah.
You know.
And that story's going to be Lazarus. We're going to be in John chapter 11. And I personally have always loved the story of Lazarus for
Me too.
100 different reasons.
It's Millie's favorite. Like, we went through months and months and months where every time we got out Millie's Bible, I'd be like, "What story do you want to read?" She's like, "Lazarus, obviously."
Because Lazarus is that pinnacle of what's the worst thing that can happen. And like if you do worst case scenarios, death is always the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But in reality, hell's the worst case scenario.
Right.
Where with Lazarus' story, it's like, and most everybody knows it, it's going to be that here was a man who died. And to everybody else's eyes, the worst thing that could happen happened.
Yeah, all is lost.
Yeah. And that's whenever Jesus shows up on the scene, like purposely delaying his coming for this opportunity. And it's what I really love about it is, and we'll get more into it, is just God's not a wicked God. He's not a broken God. He's not an evil God. He didn't wait for Lazarus to die just to torment them.
Right. No.
But it was an opportunity to bring him into a place of greater and more wonder than what they would have had he come and just healed Lazarus.
Right.
So,
And so this story, like I said, John 11. If you want to go back and read, we're not going to start at verse 1 just for time's sake. We're going to start in verse 17. And like Izzy said, like they've already sent word and said, "Hey, Lazarus is dying. Like we need you to come." And Jesus purposely did not go.
he waits like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then
Then he tells the disciples, like, "Hey, he's dead. We're going to go see him now." And they're like, "Oh, what?"
yeah. Yeah. Well, first he says Lazarus is sleeping.
Yeah.
They said, well, if he's sleeping, he'll get over it. Like, he'll sleep it
Yeah.
off. Not a big deal. He goes, Lazarus is dead. You're not catching this.
And then they're like, "Let's die with him." Like they just kind of swing, So
It must be hard to be Jesus just for the fact that it's like you say something, everybody's just like, absolutely. It's like, that's not what I said.
and they're like, "Right, this instead." And so
No.
it's just like they're swinging.
The pendulum went way too far
Yeah.
that way. Just take it, make it simple, make it easy. So, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick up in verse 17. And it says, "So when Jesus came, he found that he had already been in the tomb 4 days." That's Lazarus. Now, Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, but many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. Martha, therefore, when she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet him, but Mary stayed in the house. Martha then said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." And this is why I picked this story today, because this is the verse that's sticking out to me. And I don't know if she said it accusingly like that. Maybe it was hopeful, like, "Lord, if you had been here, like he would have made it, Like I believe in the power you have. If you had just been around,
Right.
if we just been closer to you, if circumstances would have worked out, if whatever, like." Or she may have said, like, "Lord, if you'd have been here, he would have made it," I know that, man, I've talked to God like that before,
I think
through a
everybody
lot of
has.
things.
Like, well, why didn't that work, God? You should have showed up here. Where was
Right.
your mighty hand in this situation? Because we all expect God to jump into, I should say that way, jump into the situation the way we've allotted it in our mind.
Right. And so the way she wanted God to fix this was to not let it happen in the first place and to have been there and to heal him before he died.
Now, I want to do some context here because he's been in the ground for 4 days. So they've been dealing for the last 4 days with this. We've lost him.
Yeah,
This
he's
isn't
gone.
just fresh. They're in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
it's
They've spent
new.
4 days in this new reality of there's no more Lazarus, and they are mourning. They have, they were the ones who had to take care of him, to prep his body, to put his body in the tomb, to help seal the tomb. There are people who are mourning at the tomb. They are there mourning. They may not be in that same location, but they're in a place of mourning. They're going through all the rituals. They're going through all the stuff, and they are hurting. So this is the deepest and darkest their sorrow could possibly be. they're in it and they're just,
Yeah.
and then here walks Jesus. And all of this last 4 days of my world being on its end, of every horrible thought, every horrible feeling, just the darkness that comes with death, you could have been here and none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that. Like, that's where I'm going from. It's like in the middle of their most broken moments, this
Yeah.
thing of going, where have you been?
Right. It's hard not to read this in the context of her like being bitter, because I
Yeah.
think that's where I immediately go is I would be bitter. I have been bitter, you know?
Well, and I think and many of you have lost somebody, you understand that, this bitter of where were you, God, but also this shame of feeling bitter towards him.
Yeah,
It's
like,
God, I know I shouldn't question you, and I know that I shouldn't feel bitter, but I am so bitter at you because
Yeah.
where were you? Where
and so
is
then
your
it
hand?
like shuts you out because like then you're afraid to tell God what he already knows,
Yeah.
but you're afraid to tell him, you know?
Yeah. The most heartbreaking thing we could do to God is shut off our communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, and I say that the most heartbreaking, that is a huge heartbreaking thing to God. Whenever you shut off communication, because he is longing to hear our brokenness. He's longing to hurt with us.
Well, and I think it's naive of us to think that he doesn't already know.
Right.
He knows when we're mad at him. He knows when we're bitter. He knows when we don't have the words. Like, none of what we're going to tell him ever is going to surprise him. He's literally incapable of being surprised.
Right.
Like,
Right.
he knows all. It's something he can't do. He can't be surprised.
And I think us shutting our communication off from him in the middle of those seasons is us, in a way, it's kind of like we're saying, you're not even in the situation.
Right.
Does
It's
that
like
make
it's like
sense?
trying to silent treatment God.
Yeah. Because you don't believe he's actually in the middle of the brokenness with you.
Right.
Okay.
So she goes on to say, even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. And so to me, that always kind of puzzled me because it sounds like she's saying, like, hey, if you wanted to raise him,
Yeah.
you could.
Yeah.
But I think as the story goes on, I don't think that's what she's saying because she seems rather surprised by it. You know?
I mean, yes and no. I think it's that thing when she's proclaiming a truth that she knows here,
Yeah.
but does she know it in her heart?
Right. And I think it's that thing of like, hey, Jesus, even though you let this bad thing happen, like I still do trust you. I still do love you. Like I still do think that you're the Son of God and anything you can do, like.
Or it's possible in this moment she's saying, even though you didn't show up to bring me my miracle, I still believe you have power.
Right. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. And Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day.
Yeah. So
She's
now it's the word, the trick. Like, okay, you said he's going to rise up from the dead. That's not a foreign thought to them.
right.
They've whenever the bones of the dead man was thrown on Elisha, the man came up from death.
Yeah.
So they understand that there is the possibility of the raising of the dead, and even taught, hey, all who die will be raised. And she goes, all right, I know that will happen on the last day. It's almost
Yeah.
like, I think, it's almost like Jesus is, she feels as if Jesus is proclaiming a thing, but she may be giving him the back door to get out of it.
Right.
Or it may be that she is sitting there going, what do you exactly mean? Because I understand that this will happen on the last day, but are you talking about right now? It's almost a thing of, God, I know you said this, but are you secretly having a different way that you're going to bring us about? Like
yeah.
is this one of those things where it's a riddle that I think I understand that I don't? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, yes, Lord, I have believed that you are the Christ, the Son of God, even he who comes into the world. When she said this, she went away and called Mary her sister, saying secretly, the teacher is here and is calling for you. And when she heard it, she got up quickly and was coming to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where Martha met him. When the Jews who were with her in the house and consoling her, when they saw that Mary got up quickly and went out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. Therefore, when Mary came to where Jesus was, she saw him and fell at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. So the same exact thing
Mhm.
that Martha had said. So again, like they're sharing the sentiment. You know that this was something that was spoken between the two of them over and over again of like, man, like we're so sorrowful that for when our brother is gone, but we know that Jesus could have healed him.
Well, it's that thing too. If you would have been here,
Yeah, in this situation.
and I think many of us can feel that in our lives through different times. Like, I don't even know where God's at. I don't even know, well, how did God let that happen? Where was God at? Why didn't God show up? Why didn't? And it's that thing of not believing that He was with them.
Yeah,
And physically, Jesus wasn't,
right,
but God was there.
right.
The Spirit of God was there. There was an evidence of Him being there some way, somehow. And yet it was the thing of like, but Jesus, if you had been here, then X, Y, Z.
Right.
So to believe that broken things could happen and Jesus is absent of the situation births this doubt, I think.
Yeah.
So tangent, but well, let's go back.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and was troubled, and said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. So the Jews were saying, See how he loved him? But some of them said, Could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind have kept this man also from dying? So they're saying the same thing. Like, everybody thinks that Jesus like messed up. He missed the opportunity to do the right thing here, to do the healing before the death.
Yeah, and so that's for me, listening to that, Jesus is, so they see His love, and they say, well, you really loved Him.
Yeah,
Why didn't you save Him from death?
yeah,
How many times in our lives do we say, well, God, if you really loved me, why didn't you save me from
Yeah.
this heartbreak, this struggle?
from this pain, from
Yeah, and that's just not a fair.
Yeah, and so for me personally, this is why it's ringing so true. Is we're nearing the end of labor with baby Asher, like or with pregnancy with baby Asher. He's due to be here like 2 weeks, and I don't want to be induced, and so I had to be with Millie, and it felt like, well, God, that's not what I wanted. Like, why did I have to go through that extra pain and that hardship when you let me have such an easy, wonderful time with Ariel? Like, why couldn't we have done that again?
Right.
And so I felt like God was absent from that birth. And so now looking back at it, I see that He had me. I was just ignoring Him because He didn't do things the way I wanted. So I freaked out and had massive fear and just distrust. And I spiraled because I took my eyes off of Jesus.
Right.
And so with Ariel, I kept my eyes on him the whole time. And so I now know that even if I have to be induced, which I hope I don't, but even if there is a possibility to keep my eyes on Jesus the whole way and for this to be a different experience than it was with Millie.
And I think there's going to be a lot of friends that we have that say, well, if you have enough faith, then you can believe. And I agree to a lot of that. I
Absolutely.
mean, we agree. There's some things you just got to believe and trust God and and we do that in everything we do. However, I still go back to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego saying,
even if you don't.
even if, O King, we die in your furnace, we will not serve you. We will serve our God.
Yeah, because our God can rescue us. But even if He doesn't, He's still God. Like, He's still good.
Right.
He's still awesome.
I think that I'm going to say this, and I can catch flack for it. I don't care. God can always override your faith. So whatever you're believing for, if God has better, I guarantee you He will override your faith of a situation to give you a greater on the other side of it.
Yeah.
How much greater of a faith will Mary and Martha have seeing Jesus speak some words in just a moment? How much greater faith will Lazarus have knowing that he will be or is raised from the dead?
Right.
And
Spoiler alert.
Who is this Jesus? This man is not just a good teacher. He's not just a healer. He's not just a prophet. This is my very source that I live for. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever you're going through, if you feel like God's abandoned you or stepped out of the room and He's not there anymore, that is a lie of the enemy. And you need to recognize Him in the room.
Right. And I think the thing is, again, like, no one ever said this is going to be easy. No, Jesus never said, like, yeah, I'm going to give you the easy life. It's full of, no hardships. And he says, no, I'm going to be there with you through it.
Yeah.
And that's going back to, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had to go through the fire, but God was with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's this, like, Lazarus had to taste death. He had to go through it. His family had to see the loss of him to then, but what great, that's the thing is, yes, Jesus could have come in and healed Lazarus, and it would have been like, Jesus, our healer, he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, no, Jesus who brought back my brother from the grave.
Right.
Jesus who restored life.
Right.
Like, that's such a bigger, more powerful thing. Like, Jesus who walked me through something that should have been my end, and it wasn't.
Right. And that's the thing of, if I would have known those things, how would I have acted different? Well, that's, you probably would have contaminated the result. But if I had trusted him fully, how much easier would it have been to walk through that season?
Absolutely.
Instead of as much brokenness, per se, and the doubt and the fear and all that stuff. How much it's like, I'm trusting Jesus, whatever he's going to do at this.
Right. And that's what I see with looking back at that birth with Mills. I'm like, I made that harder on myself because I chose to walk it alone in fear.
Right. Go back to Abraham on the mountain when he raised Isaac. And he makes a statement, me and the boy are going to go and sacrifice unto God.
Yeah, and
we will be back.
Yeah.
It was this understanding of, God, I don't know how you're going to do this, but if you promised that this was going to be the child who carried on my lineage to where my descendants would be more numerous than the stars in the sky that I could count, then I'm going to believe that you, oh God, are going to do something wonderful here.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that he was going to the mountain to sacrifice his son to God, which is such a crazy thought. It wasn't like God, but God was trying to say, hey, I want you to understand that the same commitment you have to loving me, I have to loving you. Not just that you would give up your son, but that I would give up my own son, sacrifice him so you would have perfect atonement. To him, Abraham, it was counted, his faithfulness, his faith was counted as righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know what I'm going through. I don't know what you're dealing with, but it's that thing too of going like, but God, I trust you.
Yeah.
And whatever this looks like, it may look wrong, broken, messed up, backwards. It may look like you stepped out of the room, but I know that's a lie of the enemy. You're in this room, and this season will glorify you some way, somehow.
That's right. And so it continues, and it says, so Jesus, again being deeply moved within, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, remove the stone. Martha, the sister of the deceased, said to him, Lord, by this time there will be a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. Jesus said to her, did I not say to you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? And so for me, that's like, that hit so hard of like, God, did he not tell me he was going to be with me?
Right.
Did he not tell me he was going to walk with me, that he never leaves me,
Right.
that he's going to keep in step with me? Like, I think we have to go back and remind ourselves, like, what promises has God given us?
Yeah.
And then choose not to decide how he keeps his promises.
Right. Right. He's going to show me his glory. Whatever avenue, whatever truck he drives into my situation to make that happen, I'm trusting that it is for his glory, and it's good for me.
Mm-hmm. So they removed the stone. Then Jesus raised his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but because of the people standing around, I said it, so that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. The man who had died came forth, bound hand and foot with wrappings, and his face was wrapped around with a cloth. Jesus said to them, unbind him and let him go. Therefore, many of the Jews who came to Mary and saw what he had done believed in him. But some of them went to Pharisees and told them the things which Jesus had done.
Yeah, the last part of that I don't care about. The first part I care about there, where it said, and those who had seen this believed him, believed in him. This was bigger than Lazarus' physical death.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the spiritual life.
Right. This was even bigger than Jesus restoring Mary and Martha's brother to them. This was bigger than Mary and Martha.
Yeah.
This would affect so many people.
Yeah. And so whatever you're going through today, it's bigger than you. And it could affect so many more people. So rather than get angry and bitter and aggravated at God for not showing up the way that you want him to, for not dancing to your tune, get to the point where you're saying, God, this got to be so big. It's got to be so bigger than me. I want you to use it for your glory. Let whoever needs salvation be saved. Let whoever needs to know you in a mighty way, know you in a mighty way. Whatever glory you need to put on display, put it on display. Boy, that's so good. But don't get to that place where you say, well, God, if you had.
Yeah, well, and when we get bitter and say, since you didn't do it this way, like, I'm not going to keep looking for you to work. I'm not going to keep looking for how you're going to work it out and how you're going to bring about good. So when we start doing that, it's like we stop letting him have that blessing in our life.
Right.
You know?
Right. And we need to say, no, you have room. You have accessibility. Whatever you got to do, do that.
I'm open. I'm here.
And I'm going to be trusting you for it. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a good one. I hope you all really enjoy that. I hope it speaks to you. And if it does, let us know, because we definitely want to be encouraging you and just pushing forward with you into whatever God has for you. We're praying for you, praying for your season, whatever God's got you into. Walk in love. So,
and we do just ask for a little bit of grace, because we're not quite sure what the rest of this month looks like as we get ready to welcome baby Asher. So we hope we'll have another video next week for you guys, but it may be Ariel, my lovely stand-in with her daddy.
Yeah.
Or it may be me and a baby, or, just pray, because we want him here soon.
So with that, guys, know that we love you. We care about you. We want your life to flourish. And so always reach out if you need us. We love taking your prayer requests, love taking those before the Lord. And we know that he's there with us. He's here with you. And he wants to show up in your place and do mighty miracles. When you're broken, he weeps. He weeps with you. When you're rejoicing, he's rejoicing. He is not far from those who love him. And so you be sure to lean in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Most likely, hopefully. And I want to let you know, too, that series we got coming out about missionaries.
Ooh. It's going to be good, guys. We've already filmed 2 episodes, and just listening to these missionaries' hearts, oh gosh, guys, like...
Insane. Just wonderful. Good. And they're going to be longer episodes. I'm so sorry. We can't get them short. We were trying. I was like 10 or 15 minutes, guys, and then we're 40 minutes in on today's, and I was like... And
we didn't want to let them go.
No.
Like, we wanted to keep, tell us more.
Yeah.
They're so good. Just, stay tuned for that. We're going to release that in the middle of October or a week late. We'll see. We're still doing some scheduling, so...
Yeah. With that, love you guys. We'll let you go.
Bye, guys.
Bye.